In this lesson, we're going to build the fuel port for our car. Alright, so to create the fuel port for our car, we'll need to take the body and we'll need to separate out the area in which the fuel port is going to go. Looking at our reference image that I've just pulled from an image search, you can find any image that you like. You can see that the fuel port is on the opposite side, and so I'm going to go ahead and build that. Now I need to separate out this back part, so let's go to Editable Poly, Element Mode, and select this element. You'll want to go ahead and detach that and call it Body, so that way whenever we have it selected, we can actually work on one side and it not affect the other. Okay, and so I'm going to reapply the symmetry modifier to this. Let's put that over in the Z, and let's convert it down to an editable poly, and that's going to bake that down, and so no longer will we be able to use the symmetry modifier the way that we've been using it. However, with this, it allows us to come in and just add in details where we want them to one side and it not be on the other. So let's also add on the Turbo Smooth modifier, because I'm going to need this to be able to see how smooth it's going to come out. And I want to place the fuel port right here. So to get started, let's go to Vertex Mode, and I'm going to right click and cut a diamond around this point right here. Now if you wanted, you could go ahead and just select this and chamfer that, okay, and that's going to give you the same kind of result as well. In fact, I think that would probably work out better for us anyway. Now let's go ahead and cut, and we're going to cut from the middle of this to here, and then we'll go from here to here, and we're going to go all the way around until we have created a polygon that has 8 sides to it. Let's select around that set of vertices there and weld that. I noticed a little bit of odd shading happening there. So now let's go to Polygon Mode, select that polygon, and let's go to GeoPoly. Notice how it creates this cylinder, and it does a pretty good job of that. The only problem that I have with this is that it basically got rid of my curvature that I have already. Let's see if we can use that GeoPoly with our edge constraint turned on. Let's see how that does. It doesn't really change it, the fact there, so we may have to come in, grab our vertex mode, and we may have to make some subtle changes to this. Okay, let's actually take that polygon with that GeoPoly turned on, and let's scale this up in all 3 directions, and that's going to give us this cylindrical shape. Now I don't want to take it up too much. Notice how now it's starting to adhere to that shape a little bit better. Okay, so not too bad. Now let's go ahead and take this and let's go to Inset, and I want to inset this just a very small amount. Let's do something like maybe 0.05. Hit OK on that, and let's take the polygon on the outside edge, hold Shift, select the next one, and let's extrude that down into the body. And we're going to do something like maybe, let's do negative 0.05. Okay, just a very small amount, and we'll hit OK. Now what I want to do at this point is I want to go ahead and go to Edge Mode, or Edit, and we're going to add a loop in here, but you can see that the loops are kind of hard to get, so let's go to Edge Mode, select this edge and hit Ring. That should select the edges all the way around, and actually let's do this on both of those. Hit Ring, and then we're going to use Connect. We're going to add in 2 edges. Okay, you can kind of see how that looks there. And if you need to pinch it, you can do that. Just do a little bit and then hit OK. Let's take this top polygon. Let's inset that a little bit more to right about there, and then we're going to go from this vertex to this one. We're going to cut across that or connect it, and then we're going to right click and cut from this vertex to this one. Then let's take this vertex here. Let's make sure that this is set to edge constraint. Let's straighten that up a little bit, so it should look something like that. Now whenever we apply our Turbo Smooth, you can see that we've got a nice round port for our fuel. Now there's one problem that I have with this. It has created this crease right here. Let's take this vertex right here and let's pull that down in the Z and just pull it away from that, and then let's turn our constraints off and let's pull it out away from the body just ever so slightly. We should get kind of this flat looking surface that goes right along this. So just kind of looking down the edge of that. That looks good. Okay, so that should kind of help with that pinching. Now if you have a lot of pinching in this area, you could use a couple of tools to kind of help out with that. One tool would be to go in to like your edit vertex mode, and you can go to freeform, paint deform, relax, and you can kind of relax the position of some of these vertices, and it will try to bring those together and make it a little bit easier on your topology. You could also use the flatten, and as you brush across those, it will try to flatten those and making them a little more planar, and that can kind of help get rid of any of those weird ripples. And as you can see, we don't have anything that's really standing out. You can see that the gas cap or the fuel port is sticking up off of that. It looks pretty good. One other thing that I want to do really quickly is take this vertex, pull that up off of it, give it kind of a bubble shape. So hold down Control and go to polygon mode, and let's take this to local, pull that out in the Z a little bit, and I just kind of want that to pop a little bit more, give it that a little bit more of a seam around that. Okay, very good. So now that we've got our fuel port on that, we have some other details that we need to create on the body before we move on, and that's going to be these vents that are right here on the side. I'm going to show you how to tackle that process next.